Senate Resolution 22 by Senator Weiner relative to Transgender Day of Visibility.
Senator Weiner, you may proceed.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Colleagues, today I rise on behalf of the California Legislative LGBTQ Caucus to present Senate Resolution 22 to commemorate March 24th as Transgender Day of Visibility. Transgender Day of Visibility is not just a celebration, but a call to action. It's a day to recognize the vital role that trans men and women have played and continue to play in the fight for LGBTQ rights and in so many aspects of American society. From Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, who helped lay the foundation of the modern LGBTQ movement, to countless trans activists and individuals in every single industry on the face of this planet, pushing for equality and full humanity. Trans people have always been at the forefront of this struggle. We also need to, I think, be very eyes wide open about what's happening today in this country and why it's even more important for trans people to be visible today and for all of us to have trans people's backs today. We're in a terrifying moment in time when the very existence of transgender people is being questioned and is under assault from some of the most powerful people in this country, including Trump and Musk, who are trying to push trans people into the shadows. Trump has signed very...
And over again.
Point well taken. What is your point of order?
Point of order, asking that the good senator from San Francisco respect the duly elected president of the United States with the title of President of the United States.
Point well taken. Senator, please refer to the president or give him the title President.
Madam President, could I just to clarify, because I said Trump and Musk, and so does that, am I allowed to say Elon Musk without calling him president, or do I have to call him president too?
What is your point?
The senator from San Francisco knows that Elon Musk is not the president of the United States or the vice president of the United States. I would think that the senator would know that, knowing civics and his involvement in public policy.
I'm aware who's running the country, Madam President. Thank you.
Point well taken. Please refer to our president by his elected name.
Yes. So the President of the United States, Donald Trump, has taken aggressive action to effectively eradicate trans people from public life. The President of the United States has an unhealthy obsession with trans people. In his first 2 weeks in office, with all the problems facing the world of war and peace and health care and inflation and cost of living, with all the problems facing this country, the President of the United States issued more than 5 executive orders dehumanizing trans people just in the first few weeks in office. Just imagine that for a population that's about 1% of Americans. The President of the United States purported to ban trans people from existing, saying that there are 2 genders only and they are both determined at birth. The President of the United States threw trans people into limbo by prohibiting issuance of passports consistent with their gender identity. The President of the United States decided to transfer trans women from women's prisons to men's prisons in a blanket way and in a completely dehumanizing way, subjecting these women to brutalization in men's prisons. The President of the United States blanket banned trans people from serving in the military. People who are literally have given their lives to serving and defending our country, and he's dehumanizing them by saying they're no longer allowed to serve. The President of the United States decreed that transgender young people were no longer allowed to have health care, even if their parents are supporting it. They're just not allowed to have it anymore. The President of the United States threatened to arrest and prosecute teachers if they recognize the basic humanity of trans kids in their classrooms by, God forbid, letting them use the restroom. Imagine that, arresting teachers because they support their students. The President of the United States and Elon Musk as well have been blanket removing reference to transgender people from government websites. Black people too, it's not just trans people, but trans people have been targeted. And they actually are changing LGBT to LGB, including at Stonewall Inn, which is a national monument. On that website, they removed the T, even though it was trans people and drag queens who stood on the front lines with gay men and lesbians at Stonewall demanding equality. And they are being erased by this President of the United States. There is so much more. We know that Elon Musk is out announcing that trans people are deranged and public safety risks. All of these things dehumanize trans people, particularly young people. And I have parents come up to me in San Francisco asking, in complete seriousness, parents of trans kids, do I need to leave the country? Is my kid even safe in this country anymore? The amount of fear, the amount of terror that's being spread in the community, the incitement to violence that this president and his administration are creating, it is hard to overstate it. We must have trans people's backs, now more than ever. And I know sometimes the politics are hard because they have spent so many years dehumanizing and delegitimizing these folks, but that's when it's most important for us to have their backs, when it's not popular to do so. To be able to say to people, I don't care if the polling isn't good. We're going to have these folks' backs. These are our neighbors. These are Americans. We're there for them. Trans people existed long before the United States was born. Trans people exist today, and trans people will exist long after this wretched presidential administration is on the dustbin of history. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.